What's up guys, and welcome to another YuGiOh Duel video. So today is the 24th of October, and as you can see currently Blue Angel is available until the 31st of October, so you guys still have 6 more days before this event completely ends. But before we get into that real quick, before I show you my deck profile, there's also been some tier rewards currently available right now. So if you play as Blue Angel as your active character and duel against the duelists in the PvP against standard duelists of the NPC as well as legendary duelists, you can essentially accumulate your tier rewards right there to obtain certain rewards. First off, a sleeve of Blue Angel and a game mat, and finally another set of sleeves and game mats, but featuring the Trickstar cards, as you can see right there. They look pretty great, I'm not gonna lie. I mentioned this actually acts as a much more better incentive as a reward to get us interested in this kind of event. So aside from that, as you can see, I'm pretty much nearing to the end of the completion reward over there. I would also like to let you guys know I managed to obtain about 5 copies of Trickstar Foxglove Witch, as well as 5 copies of the field spell itself. So I can honestly say I'm pretty much done with this event, but so far I want to keep pushing on because the cumulative rewards are still there, so we might as well just keep pushing and get much as we can, and only then we can say that we are done. So without further ado, let's get into the deck profile. So first off, as you can see, I'm playing 3 copies of Curvebane, 1 copy of Licorice, 2 copies of Nightshade, 3 copies of Lilybells, 2 copies of Rodot, and 1 Narcissus, with a field spell of Trickstar Light Arena and 1 copy, 2 copies of Trickstar Bouquets, and 2 copies of Trickstar Magical Laurel. And only 1 copy of Power of Guardians, because why not? I'm still figuring out on how I can actually increase my attack points, especially for Trickstar Holy Angels. And aside from that, 2 Wall of Disruption, 2 copies of Foxglove Witch, 1 copy of Crimson Heart, 1 Holy Angel, 2 Black Cat Bat, 1 Diva Driss, and 1 copy of Trickstar Blue. So if you are watching this video right now and seeing my entire deck profile, you must be wondering how I'm actually playing this deck. So essentially this deck actually focuses on the one and only Trickstar Lilybell. So her main effect is when this card is added to your hand except by drawing, you can special summon from your hand, summon this monster from your hand directly. You can also attack directly with this monster's own effect, and once you do deal damage, whether you attack or your opponent attacks into it and essentially gets damaged because I use Wall of Disruption, I can essentially recycle a card from my graveyard and add it back to my hand. So let's say, for example, if I already have a Trickstar Curvebane or any of the Trickstar monsters in the graveyard, I can essentially attack directly, activate the effect to recycle any of the cards in the graveyard back into my hand. And with Trickstar Licorice, her own effect, anytime during your turn, you can essentially reveal this card, bounce a Trickstar back into your hand, and special summon this monster onto the field. So if you were to play it with the combo of Trickstar Lilybell, you would be essentially having a hit and run strategy, while with Lilybell's own effect of being bounced back into your hand, you can special summon it back onto the field to deal some extra points of damage during that turn. And also, if you're wondering why I'm playing 2 copies of Rodot, because her effect itself, other than having 1900 points of defense, her effect of discarding a Trickstar card from your hand to revive a Trickstar Link monster onto the field, this gives you much more range in terms of what you want to link summon into during that turn. So let's say you already link summon of your Trickstar Bloom as well as a random Trickstar Link to monster, and you have already a Trickstar Foxglove Witch on the field. So essentially you'll be using her effect to bring out any of the linked monsters that you want. You may argue that the effect is basically the effect of Trickstar Magical Laurel has a similar effect, but it actually has an additional effect as well. It's also better to keep note that in terms of bring out monsters, essentially you can use this to go into higher link summoning during that turn as well. So essentially I have these 2 cards used for revivals, 2 bouncings, and also Nightshade is a great card to have in your hand on your first turn. So aside from explaining all the entire do's and don'ts of my deck, I think it will be better if I show you how I use my deck in a proper duel. So let's proceed to duel against her. I can't duel her at a higher level because I do not have enough of the materials, but whatever, let's go. Alright, what do we have in our hand? And as you can see on the left right there is the duel meter. So this is what I meant by the cheers reward. So essentially if you get it up to 100, you'll be getting 100 of those cheer rewards. So for the next upcoming rewards, I'll be obtaining a slight number of EX duels overall. So in our starting hand we have Trickstar Redote, one copy of Licorice, and also one copy of Trickstar Magical Laurel. Okay, let's go. Narcissus. Alright, let's do it. Normal summon Redote onto the field because we will be saving our Narcissus and also Licorice for later on. So like that, 1400. Then she used Numinous Healer's effect. Do not worry, we'll be activating Licorice effect. Bounce Redote back into our hand and bring out Licorice onto the field and go for another attack, cutting her life points down to 2000 on the first turn as well. Let's see what else she has in store. Okay, Narcissus effect triggers, we special summon her onto the field in defense position just like that. 2 monsters on the field and that's pretty much decent overall. Alright, Trickstar Light Stage Arena. Let's activate the effect and we'll go into our first link summon during this turn. So let's go into Trickstar Holy Angel using these 2 cards.
I'll build the circuit that turns dreams into reality. Go!
Then using Light Arena's effect, let's revive 1 card. We can choose anyone that we want, Trickstar Licorice or Narcissus, it does not matter. Let's activate the field spell to seal her back row as easily just as that. And now we can normal summon onto the field our Trickstar Redote, as well as go into a Link 2 if we want to. But essentially I think it will be, yeah, let's just go into our Link 2 monster just like that during this turn. Give her just a bit more hint of that burn damage into her face. Black Cat's effect is only effective if you have 2 other monsters on either side that is linked to it for the attack reduction effect. So with nothing that is linked to it, it basically does not do anything. And that is where this comes in hand, Trickstar Magical Laurel. We can bring out our Licorice onto the field. And if we want to, we can also do this, since basically she has nothing on the board and her back row is officially sealed off.
I'll build the circuit that turns dreams into reality. Get ready.
Trickstar Foxglove Witch, just like that. Activate the burn effect, 200. And Black Cat Bat's effect as well. So that actually allows you to do a proper attack reduction while leaving some space in your upper extra monster zones. And now we can just direct attack and win the duel.
The next duel will parade! Hey, you! That's right, you!
So that's how you essentially obtain the cheer rewards, using Blue Angel to duel any other duelist that you want, as well as a small, tiny little reminder for you all. The card trader EX himself also has some rewards that you can exchange your EX duels with. So since I already have 5 copies of Trickstar Foxglove Witch regular copy, and I have a ton of these EX duels right at the bottom, and I already traded for my EXP and result boosters, I'll just trade off for a Foxglove Witch from Glossy, then finally to Prismatic if I want to as well. There are also other cards for you to obtain from this entire inventory. If you are starting out new, then essentially you better obtain the field spell just like that, as well as a few of these cards that allows you to increase your life points during that turn. So anyways, that's it for the video and also for the deck profile. Let me know what you guys think of my deck profile. Although it's not the conventional Trickstar kind of deck profile that you see that's being used by a lot of other channels, like for example the control strategy that everyone is playing about. So because I do not have multiple copies of Cantina as well as Licorice, so I'm basically doing the kind of free-to-play version, if you want to call it that, because I use mostly the common cards as well as the level up reward cards obtained by leveling up Blue Angel as well as certain event exclusive cards. Anyways, that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time when there's something new or there is something interesting that will be announced for YuGiOh Dueling soon. So I'll see you then. Have a great day and good night.